This is the Riot Podcast.
Oh, Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas.
So obviously very heavily on the Christmas for this show today.
Well, I mean, it is the Christmas show.
It is.
In the show today, you're going to hear interviews from Mike Maines and the Branches. Mike Maines.
Yeah, Colin from House of Heroes. He joins us in studio.
Steven from Wolves at the Gate.
That's right.
Okay, I love everybody that came in, but that's my favorite interview.
Andrew from Project E6. He's in this as well. And then we look back again. I'm not sure, are you including Linux?
I'm not.
And so we checked in, but you won't get that in this.
If you guys either follow our interviews podcast or continue to listen to Worst of the Riot, we did check in with Linux and Tiger Drive earlier.
On their Christmas stuff?
We featured parts of those interviews in the show today because we talked Christmas with them, but I left them out of this podcast because...
redundant.
You've probably already heard them.
We also check in with Jen Ledger to see what her plans are today for Christmas.
And what she's doing... Well, let me just say you'll find out something about Winter Jam, which she is participating in this year.
Exciting to hear about. So hopefully you enjoy this. And please, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah, I'm planning to, you know what? I'm going to say this loosely. I might do some streaming over Christmas.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I might not.
No, you should.
No pressure.
No pressure. If you want to or not, no. But if you get any good games for Christmas, that would be good.
Yep. So you guys have a wonderful Christmas. We're so thankful for you. We're so thankful that you spend time with us every single day. So we do this for you. Thank you for making it possible.
Thank you for listening and always messaging us and being so nice and kind. And then a reminder, tomorrow's Christmas, but then on Wednesday, we'll be sending out, starting our Worst of Riot. So some of our favorite parts of 2018. You'll get that until we return the first part of January.
And you'll even get a Saturday podcast this time. I don't know if we've ever done that, but this time we are. So have a great week. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Christmas.
Bye.
What's worse than finding grounds in your coffee? Finding grounds in your coffee while listening to the Riot. It's the Worst of the Riot on RadioU.
So we recently checked in with Linux, and we talked Christmas and Christmas cookies and Christmas parties.
Yeah, and so we're going to see what exactly it was that Linux had planned. And, you know, their mom sent us cookies.
She did, but you'll hear this first, and then we'll let you know.
We'll explain how it all works.
No pool parties. It's not season 4.
Man.
But you guys you might not remember. If you have a moment, go to our RadioU Riot YouTube channel and look up past Linux interviews. But they throw a pool party in the summertime that we always like to reference, where you have people bring their own inflatable, like little pools, and then everybody fills up the pools, and then you just hang out in those.
All day.
Yeah, I highly recommend it if you have a remotely
cheap party.
flat yard.
Yes, as long as you have a flat yard.
Okay, so what's the Christmas equivalent? Do you guys have a bring your own, bake yourself into a cookie party, or like?
Ooh, I like that.
Well, now that might change.
Let me take my own little tissue notes over here.
What are those called? A cookie exchange or something?
I was on the phone with my mom this morning and heard about Cookie Exchange for the first time. I thought it was a website, but it's not. They do all my shopping on Cookie Exchange.
They're the best.
It actually sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, you let them put a cookie on your computer, and then all of your shopping is free.
It's at the Express.
Perfect.
I always accept cookies.
I think it's where again, you guys have parties where you put a demand on people, which is good, but you're having everybody bring a set of cookies, and then everybody goes and exchanges them, and then you can take home cookies.
Wait, so you're telling me you've been to a cookie party?
Yeah, you haven't had a cookie party before?
I don't have cookie parties.
It's like all the rage.
So, Scott, your mom's having a cookie party?
I think she's going to one at her church.
Oh.
She's never been to one before. She's like stressing about what cookies to make because she doesn't want to be the lady that winds up with her own cookies at the end of the day.
She runs like the cookie queen, though. Like she makes thousands of cookies over Christmas and tries to send them all home with us.
So now this Christmas, when we show up, we get to eat cookies from strangers.
From strangers.
Man.
But you're right, though. She is correct. The cookies say a lot about the person, so you got to make sure you're picking the right one that is a statement about you.
Well, it communicates a certain thing, and I'll have you know that every year on Christmas Eve, I make peanut butter blossoms. That's peanut butter cookies with little Hershey Kisses on top. And
that's your statement cookie.
That's my statement piece for the whole year.
Yeah. That's a solid choice.
Lead into the new year.
You like candy? Here is both.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Driving people with candy to eat your cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now for Lennox, let's bring this back full circle. Obie's saying you guys have been a little quieter on social media. Now you need to get back in, and we need to see a post soon about what is the Lennox cookie, like the official one.
Yeah, what is the official Lennox cookie?
Do some polls, figure it out, and then post it, and maybe a recipe.
Oh, all right.
I'm making cookies soon.
Yeah.
So
we actually have been, it's just weird. So we live in Nashville, and there's a lot of DJ opportunities for like events and stuff. And we find ourselves, we're DJing like 3 or 4 Christmas parties.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
And this one here does all our DJ stuff. And I don't know where she finds the most turned up Christmas music. But I'm like sitting working on my computer like, what is this? And then it goes into like a Christmas song.
it goes into Silent Night, and you're just like, okay.
So there you have Lennox talking about their turn-up Christmas and their cookie party.
Scott's mom did actually send us cookies. So.
She did. They were these little Santa cookies that
they're
were
big.
on. Okay, you're right.
They
were
weren't
big cookies.
little, they were big.
That were on
sticks.
Cookie on a stick.
They were really good, and we ate them all.
We did.
If Mickey sounds a little bored this morning, it's because Obadiah is still talking.
Too much talking.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Talking.
We did our Best of Riot 2018 look at movies and video games, but I didn't think we had anything else.
And now the Riot's 2018 Book of the Year.
Yay! I didn't know we were doing this category.
It's a joint category. We're doing Book of the Year and Newspaper of the Year.
Oh, that's the worst category ever. No one wants to hear that. That's not a category. Take it back.
Book of the Year.
No, we're not doing that. I'm taking your music away. You can't do it without the music.
Shh, come on. I'm trying to find books published in 2018. Ooh, here's a good one. The Wife Between Us.
You might not want to say the titles just in case we haven't had a chance to check the books.
Oh, The Wedding Date. The Line Becomes a River. Girl Burns Brighter. I don't know what any of these are. None of them. The only book that I know of that I have read that was written this year is I just got done reading Iron Gold by Pierce Brown.
So it's not even like it was the full year. Like this is just at the end of this year.
It was published January 16th, 2018.
Right.
And I did read it at the end of the year. But I feel like I can say authoritatively that every other book I read this year was not published this year. At least not the first time, anyway. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I guess
the Riot's book of the Year, Iron Gold by Pierce Brown.
It's not as enthusiastic of a category.
It wins by default as the only book that was written this year
that the Riot read.
And it is Red Rising Book 4.
And I also didn't pick up a newspaper. I haven't since I moved last time, there's nothing in that category.
And now the 2018 winner for the best newspaper, the USA Today, that I read at that hotel over Thanksgiving.
It's an honor for them to be nominated.
And, it's a little weird. They didn't send a rep here to pick up the award. I'm just genuinely shocked.
Well, we haven't had papers delivered to the Radio U studios for a long time. So it's our bad.
It doesn't need
let's just play Amberlynn, and we'll transition nicely from maybe not the best category we could have featured into a song that we love to feature.
Watch this, though. We might be preparing for next year because I see right here that book was published in 2018. Book 5 in the Red Rising saga. It's going to be published July 9th of 2019.
Save it for then.
So it looks like we're going to read a 2019 book in 2019.
We will. That looks like a big front runner for a winner next year.
Gonna be big.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
It is the Riot on Radio U.
I think Mike joined us for the first time for our Christmas show last year.
I think he was a part of the Christmas show last year.
Now I think it has to be a tradition. To every Christmas, we must speak with Mike Maines.
Good morning, Mr. Maines.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Merry Christmas Eve to you.
Merry Christmas Eve to you.
So, Mike, what's going on this Christmas? Like,
you're just starting right in.
Yeah, let's just dig in, buddy. Like, what is the Christmas Eve plans today?
The Christmas Eve plans are we're heading to Rick and Carrie Germain's. They are longtime family friends of Shannon and I's. We've been going there every single year for 10 years, and no signs of stopping. We love it. And now they're close family friends of ours, Austin and Emily Germain. You might remember Austin from a band called So Save Me back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really good dude. And he's basically like my brother, and he's got 2 kids now, and it's cool to watch them grow and tear into presents and just warm up by the story of Christmas. So I love it.
That's
awesome,
the plans.
Dude. Now, what kind of traditional foods can you expect to be eating tonight?
I don't know if this is traditional, but I'm just going to be honest. I eat my weight in pepper jack cheese.
Oh, yes, a good cheese tray. Yes, that's it. Now you feel like you know a little bit more about Mike, don't you?
Well, I feel like I know what he's doing tomorrow.
And I feel like we can love the music even more now.
Yeah.
He's just a man who loves pepper jack cheese.
So I guess part of my question, Mike, would be when you guys are getting ready to sit down and record some music, where's pepper jack cheese in that mix?
It is as far away from my vocal cords as possible.
Sure. So it's really just a Christmas thing, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat it throughout the week, but right before you sing, here's where I start to sound like a bit of a diva. But the milk or like cheese, anything dairy can kind of flum up your vocal cords, so it doesn't enable you to hit notes as easy. So usually at that point, I'm drinking a huge bottle of whiskey and clearing my vocal cords. I'm joking.
Burn it right off.
That'll clear. That is medicinal, so that's different.
I was going to say, Mike, you know that's going to dry out your vocal cords, right?
Pretty much. You'd be better to have the cheese at that point. Well, this is Mike Maines from Mike Maines and the Branches. We have the songs Endless Summer and then Breathing Underwater. So you guys have been busy this fall, and you got the project coming as well.
Yeah, we've been working hard. It's exciting. We finally got to find a great deal with Tooth and Nail. They've been so supportive and just encouraging to us through many, many years, but we feel like we finally, it was time to become partners. And we've got a record coming out in March, and we're excited. We're just thankful that, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're not going to buy a private jet at least next year. That's not on the docket.
But you have cheese.
We've got cheese. Yeah. We've been able to just keep making music, and it's a privilege, And Christmas to me is, I was thinking a lot about like what does the story of Christmas mean? What does it mean to me? And I think like it's almost. Jesus is this light that kind of comes and invades the darkness with love and joy and peace. And that's just a crazy story that I feel like perhaps as we get older, there's this beautiful, sweet unraveling. And I'm interested in spending more time as I get older reflecting on that story.
Right on, man. That's really awesome, Mike. So Mike's bringing it this morning.
Yes, he is.
Must be I'm not saying it's the cheese, but it might have been.
It might have been helping, right? Well, just on our side of things, I mean, with Mike Maines and then the rest of the branches as well, we're so glad that you guys continue because your music means a lot to a lot of listeners and to us as well. So, we're thankful for you guys that you've had such a good year, and we know next year will be even more amazing.
Yeah. Y'all are amazing, and I tell this to people all the time. If there is a radio station that has gone above and beyond to just have faith and belief in our band, it's y'all. It's RadioU, baby!
Oh, yay! Let's all go eat cheese!
Let's have some cheese! Well, Mike, we hope that you have a very, very Merry Christmas. All the cheese you could want, plus a little extra on the side. Mm-hmm. And, dude, just tell everybody, as Nikki said, Merry Christmas for us.
Man. Nothing but Merry Christmas and love from us to y'all as well. Thank you so much for everything, guys.
Believe it or not, the Riot doesn't have an endorsement deal with Nabisco. They just keep talking about all the new Oreo flavors for free. It's the Riot on Radio U.
You know, Christmas is a time when you get together with family and friends that you only see once a year. And, you know, sometimes you don't even want to see them or talk to them, but like you have to.
I think Steve was teasing when we called, okay? He does want to talk to you.
Oh, no, I was talking about how I feel about him.
It's the other way.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't make that clear. On the phone right now, Stephen from Wolves at the Gate. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, Stephen, we haven't talked in a while. Are your kids in their 30s now?
It's just been a year. That's all it's been.
That would be strange because I'm 32, so if I had a 30-year-old, we might need to call some scientists.
That's true.
You know what? It's cool, man. Whatever works for you. So, Steve, how is Stephen the man? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Enjoying this little holiday break. Yeah, much needed.
Yeah, so what is a holiday break to you? What are you doing?
Well, I'm not very good at like vacationing, just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah.
But it's nice because then I get time to dig into, you know, little projects that I'm into. You know, I like doing woodworking and stuff like that. So I've got a couple projects. I've been trying to build my first door.
I love that.
Sounds really lame.
No, it does not.
Actually, I want you to know.
That's awesome.
That sounds amazing because, like...
We were talking to Colin earlier from House of Heroes, and we were talking about, like, how for him, you know, music, which for a lot of us everyday non-music people would be what would be the fun thing to try to do in your spare time to, like, to learn how to play. And, you know, where we play video games or we do this or that, it's fascinating to hear from someone who, you know, you yourself being in music. Well, what is your not doing music hobbies that you're choosing to do? And woodworking's amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we spent so much time on working on our record and trying to finish that up. So usually what happens is after a record, I kind of just like need no music for like a month or two, and then that's about all it lasts. And so in that time, I'm just trying to
make a door.
Fiddle around. Yeah, make a door.
Do you think you'll be able to do that within the break time, or do you need more time?
Well, the door is built and clamped and glued together. I just need to decide if I want to stain it or paint it. And officially, you have lost all of your listeners.
No,
because they're riveted.
Listen,
they're like,
okay.
Do we want to paint or do we want to stain? They're in this now.
Listen, I
we
want
need
you
to vote.
Yeah, we do.
Stephen, like, you're missing it. What you're actually doing is, I know that you guys just wrapped up an album and all that
Wolves
stuff,
at
and
the Gate.
we'll talk about Wolves at the Gate, but I think you're already, you don't even know it, but you are already writing the next album, because the next album's going to be called Doors, and there's going to be one called, there's going to be a song called The Stain.
Yes. One's The Stain and one is Paint.
Right.
It's a companion.
And who can wash away the stain?
Or do you paint over it?
Yeah,
it was never there.
You know what? Or is it a matter of, like, what paint can't cover? You know? So, I mean, like, dude.
Or people are going to think, wow, this guy really likes Microsoft Paint.
Oh, yeah. He's into the older stuff. It's
because if it was Microsoft Paint, the album would be called Windows.
Oh. That's the follow-up to Doors.
Oh, is it?
That
okay.
is.
Okay, all right.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm just telling you. So, like, you're making a door, all right? Anything...
Don't say it like that.
Anything else going on this Christmas?
Yeah, obviously going to spend time with my family and my kids, and that'll be great. But also, I want to get started on, I have a couple other music projects that I've been spending time on that I love when people say I'm not at liberty to say, like, they're like state secrets, but I don't really have anything to say other than I'm working on some music for some other projects.
Perfect, that's
I don't want to make it sound like...
Just shut the door on us, why don't you?
Yeah.
It's fine.
You know what? Are you building a door or are you building a wall, Stephen?
Oh.
Wow. So you officially went from door, window, and wall.
All in one.
Listen, man, this is our new carpentry-themed talk.
Well, how about this? We'll stay up and pay attention to Steve from Wolves at the Gate. That way, when you're able to announce things, then we'll be able to learn more about it then.
Yeah. So just keep working on music, and we can't wait to put out this record too. People keep asking us when it's going to come out, and we'll let you know as soon as we can let you know.
Okay. Well, I followed your studio journey on Twitter
for Wolves at the Gate.
For Wolves at the Gate, and I was kind of curious because I feel like, and maybe I'm just not getting it right, but I feel like you guys went quiet. So you were done, but we haven't heard a whole lot more. So I'm ready for our new Wolves at the Gate album.
Yeah. Well, what we did differently this time around was we actually did a lot of the recording and producing part of the record ourselves.
Okay.
And so that's why we went dark for a while, because I was in the dark world of just editing it forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we actually have a new guitarist in our band. His name's Joey Alarcon, which is kind of a big thing for us. You guys know Jeremy Steckel, who's in the band since the beginning, and he stepped away back in like 2012, and so we've not replaced him until now. So Joey's a pretty special guy. He was a huge part of the recording process because he's also a very talented engineer himself. So he and I were working on a separate music project, and we were just like clicking so much, and he loved Wolves of the Gate. That's how we got in touch. And I was just like, we're getting ready to record the record. It's literally a month before we went into the studio, and I was like driving, and I was thinking to myself, Steve, you're such an idiot. Like, why don't you ask Joe if he wants to be in the band? And because I was like sending him the songs and saying like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this guitar part? And he was like giving me great input. And I called him a month before we head into the studio, and I was like, hey, you want to
be in the band?
This record and be in the band? And he's like, I thought you'd never ask.
Dude, you know what this sounds like?
That's like a Hallmark Christmas moment right there.
It's like, you sat there and had a conversation with a cute girl for an hour about how much you both like coffee, and then you walked away like, why didn't I just ask her to get coffee?
I just don't even know.
Why didn't I just ask her out? Yeah.
It was so obvious.
Aw, that's sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Steve?
We're not dating. If anybody's curious, based on those eyes.
Well, you don't have time to date with making the door and all the woodworking stuff. You're busy.
I've got doors to make. I've got children to throw in the air.
Yes, you're busy.
Well, and Stephen, it's a metaphor. I mean, it's just like the door and the window is going to be a metaphor.
Listen, I just thought people might be a little too lost in the door, window, wall, and then you move to coffee.
It's a good call, dude. Good call.
Hard train of thought to follow for people in 2018.
No, they're used to it with us and our show, so they're fine.
No, you gotta. He is right though. You got to embrace the metaphor and not keep changing it. You got to stick with what you have. So, well, Stephen, listen, man, we want you to have a super Merry Christmas, and we're glad that you left your door making to come and hang out with us a little bit.
And we know when the Wolves of the Gate album comes out, we are ready for it, and we are eagerly anticipating it.
And you guys will be among the first to receive it.
Yay.
Fantastic. Yeah, and hey, Steven, just a heads up, anytime you want to make some new Christmas music, it'd be great.
Just throw that out there.
I'll tell you this, and this is no joke. Before I think about any of my family members or any gifts that I give them, I get like this daunting pressure around the end of Halloween going, oh no, we haven't done a Christmas song this year, and Obadiah is coming for me.
He's in your head.
And I'm not prepared.
He's in your head.
You know what?
Listen, I want to give more Christmas songs, but we were so wrapped up in this record that I was like, I gotta stay focused.
Well, yeah,
the guys
dude.
actually told me that because I was like, all right, guys, let's do a Christmas song. They're like, dude, you need to finish the record. I was like, good point.
Yeah, good call. So, I guess the gift we're getting this year is excuses again. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Leave Steve alone. Leave Steve alone. Let's let him go. You put him through enough.
All I want to know is, are you going to talk to Jen Ledger like this?
Yeah, I know.
You know what? You want to know?
You know what?
The answer is yes.
We already talked to Jen, and Jen he was fine with. So he only likes to tease you like this.
I know. I just think do other guys get such lovable treatment from Obadiah? I think, I can see through the sarcasm. I can see through it. Mm-hmm. I know you have a deep love for me and my Christmas songs.
That's where this is coming from.
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
The thing I am just stuck on this Christmas, it's the thing that I've talked to so many people about it. I went somewhere and talked to people about it. It's still on my mind. It's just the idea of, we think of Christmas as being about giving.
Yeah.
And I think...
Well, we're told that over and over again.
Christmas is about giving. It's about giving.
That's just something you do, and you spend all your money to make sure you can give what people expect you to give.
You work extra hours, you sacrifice, you scrimp, you save, you do whatever you can, and you want to give the best gift possible. And I mean, I don't want to get too whatever about it, but sometimes you find yourself in a position where you might be scared of the gift that you have, or you might feel like the gift that you have isn't good enough, or, what if they give you a bigger gift than you give them? Like, is it gift giving equality? Have we given enough? Are the gifts divided up well enough? Like, all these different things. And here's what's funny is that we have turned Christmas into this big giving holiday, when Christmas at its heart is actually a big receiving holiday. It's like we get it right when we're kids, and you're like, well, someone has to get a gift. I get it. Just don't think too hard about it. But here's the thing, is that Christmas is about God giving us the gift of Jesus, a relationship with him, a settledness between the two of us, a friendship that you can have with God, not some religious thing where you've got to work hard and give the right amount of money or give the right gift and you've got to get everything right and all that stuff. No. To receive a gift, all you have to do is sit down and kind of put your hands out, right? I mean, we turn it into a lot of other things, but the gift of Christmas is just putting your hands out and taking that gift. But we try really hard to earn the gift, maybe of a relationship with Jesus, working hard to make sure we're good enough for that, et cetera, et cetera.
Make it a lot harder than it needs to be.
We do. So I want you to do something really weird this year, and I want you to stop thinking about Christmas as giving and think about Christmas as receiving the gift that God has for you. And if you haven't yet, now's a great time. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to receive the gift of you in my life. I want your spirit. I want you to show me a different way to do things. Man, think about that. If Christmas was about receiving and you were more focused on receiving, then you might actually have a little space to give and not feel the pressure to give so much. Something to think about, right?
Think Obadiah owns too many video games?
Get us out of here! Roger that!
Well, maybe you'll think differently when... Okay, you're right. There's no conceivable scenario where anyone needs that many. The Riot on Radio U.
Joining us in the studio, Colin of House of Heroes. Good morning. And Vespertine. Good morning, sir.
Hey. How are you?
Ho, ho.
See, that's just as good as
Obi's
was.
That's for HOH. That's for House of Heroes.
That's
ho,
good.
Ho. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Christmas.
Good call. So, dude, are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, totally ready. I love the Christmas spirit, so I'm trying to wrangle some of that out.
I was going to say, I don't know if I believe
No, I do. I'm sorry, I said it very sarcastically. No, I
love Christmas. I'm trying to enjoy it, I guess.
Have so much Christmas spirit when we're the farthest away from it.
Yep.
And then the closer we get to Christmas, it's hard to keep up the momentum.
It's like
we're
build
tired.
Up. Yeah, it's like anything that you kind of build up and you get excited about, and then it's like, and there it is. Oh, okay, I guess it's here, but I can't. It's like being in the moment. That's why Christmas is so great, is because it's all like nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It's all memories. Yeah. It's hard to be in the present moment, and because you're making those memories.
Yeah, and it's tough too, because when you were a kid, it was like there was no work to Christmas. It was all goodies. And then when you're an adult, they're like, come to the Christmas party and work a job and be tired, but pretend to have fun.
And wrap all these presents.
Get like dozens of other people presents.
Yes.
And not really that many yourself.
Oh, dude. What are we doing?
And there we go. Now we brought down the Christmas spirit way down.
No, that's the real Christmas spirit.
I know, and I hate being a realist.
Let's put on vacation and watch that.
Yeah, we'll do something.
So, dude, what are you asking for Christmas this year?
What do I need?
Oh,
I want for nothing.
Well, we won't get if we don't ask.
Man, no, that's another sad thing about adult Christmas is your priorities change. Like, if I had time to play video games, I would do that, but I don't really, so I don't ask for that. Like, it would be fun to get like a Switch or something, but I'm not gonna like I won't play it. If I do play it, I'll feel bad about like spending all my time doing that. So.
Dude, you know what? You shame me, Colin, because I am asking.
Your video games is his music.
Yeah, that's priorities.
No. Right, his music, which is a financial outlet as well as a creative outlet, which is something that when he dies, he'll leave behind.
Be known for,
it's an all-consuming double-edged sword.
Right. And whereas when I'm playing video games, people will be like, "Yeah, we remember how he ignored us and played games."
No, I do. That's like that's like a leisure thing. Like you choose your leisure things. I have other leisure things.
Well, what I'll do, fill me in. Colin of House of Heroes and Vespertine fame, what are your other leisure things?
Cleaning the house?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I love cooking, and I haven't got to, like I used to do it a lot.
That.
And there you go. Like we each have our things.
I think we've established you're not like Colin. You're not
but
like him.
But we still are friends.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just have a real inferiority complex around most of our artists.
I used to cook a lot, and I haven't been able to, like, past their years, just like too busy. And so I miss doing that. So it feels like a special leisure time to be able to like dig into that. It's fun. Okay. So that's my leisure.
So in your leisure time, House of Heroes going to be playing a show this week, this Friday, actually. I saw on Instagram that you guys were practicing.
Yes, we did.
Does it feel weird to practice
those
songs?
It was like only a dash of weird but weird in a good way. It was super like a cool reunion. Like we haven't really all been together in all of us in many, many years. So it was a cool like time to be together, and just our families were together, and it was cool.
Awesome. So one rehearsal and then you're ready, or you guys got to get back together?
We're going to do one more here. That one was in Nashville. We'll do one more here in Columbus.
Okay.
So that'll be this Friday in Columbus.
Yeah.
With John Rubin as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so weird.
I'm mostly excited to see John play.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to know.
And I'm excited to play too.
I'm excited about both. Yeah. When I saw that you guys, John Rubin too, I was just like, wait. What? What year is it?
We had to get somebody, from our, why not? 10 years ago, it's the album, and so 10 years ago, we were playing with him. So
but I can't wait. Just imagine, House of Heroes and John Rubin playing on the States. The audience is just going to be full of people just smiling. Just lots of good memories, lots of good songs, and just smiling at it.
That's going to be my Christmas day.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm seriously pumped about it, dude.
That's my gift.
I know that for you, The End Is Not the End is just an album that you made, but for me, The End Is Not the End, I tell people, that's top 5 for me.
Awesome.
That is legit how I feel about that album. I love it so much.
Well, thank you. The fact that we're doing it and the fact that it's sold so well as it has shows me that it really was special and really impacted people. So
I love that
and
album.
Again, nostalgia, powerful thing.
It is, for sure.
Oh, dude, it takes me back, but in reality, I've never stopped listening to it. And I'm really excited. I've got a friend of mine that lives in Japan who's going to be in Columbus that weekend.
Nice.
And I sent him a copy of The End Is Not the End 10 years ago. And I didn't think, I actually told him, he's like, well, when are you going to be available? I'm like, well, I'm going to this show on Friday night. And he's like, wait, really? That album? He's like, I want to go. So he's coming with me.
Awesome. That's
which
so
I'm
great.
pretty excited about.
That's so great. That's one place we never got to get to. It was always on our list for House
Well,
of
his name's
Heroes to
Daniel,
tour
so if you make friends with him, maybe you can just go back over with him.
You guys will be inaccessible at that show. There's going to be lines out the doors just to be
I'm
love
hoping
you
to
so
see.
much.
I know, but that's the problem. Is there's so many people that I would love to see and say hi to, and we'll see what we can do. We'll make it work.
Right on.
Your morning, but without yelling, laughing, or music.
Don't deprive me of that.
We wouldn't dream of it. It's the Riot on RadioU.
It is the Riot Christmas Show.
Yay! Audience, please come on up. Yay! Woo! Riot. Oh, that's not this type of award show.
Thank you. No, it's not for us, actually. This is where Nikki and I take a little time and discuss, what are some of our favorite things that we got a chance to partake in this year. If you guys can tell, I just got distracted. I just got a text message from Steve from Wolves at the Gate saying, hey, are we still on for this morning?
Yes, we're talking to Wolves at the Gate later.
That's later.
We're going to talk to them.
Hey, sounds like Steve's going to be ready for us. Yeah, so that's exciting. So, Nikki, I know that this is not really your category, but I thought we'd take a look at some of the best games of 2018.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It was hard. I had to make a little list here, and here's a few of them that are out there. You had the new Marvel Spider-Man.
Yes.
PlayStation 4. God of War, also PlayStation 4. Monster Hunter.
Yes, people love that one.
That was a big one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Far Cry 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Dead Cells, Beat Saber.
Yeah. And you forget about all these.
Well, I know you start looking back at the year.
No one frown at me, but did Fortnite come out this year? Because it feels like that game's been out for like 5 years.
It came out last year.
Okay, just want to make sure.
And I mean, it's gotten enough publicity to have been out for 100 years.
It still does, but I feel like every year it's like, oh, it's still there.
No, it was actually last year that it was last August that it came out, and then the Battle Royale mode came out. I think around the holidays last year.
Okay, that was just, I was curious.
It's really hard for me to nail down like what would be a favorite game of the year. I will tell you, if there's a game that I've had the most fun playing, it's got to be a toss-up between Spider-Man and Forza Horizon 4. And there's a great argument to be had for that's not that original because Forza, it's just the same stuff every year and whatever.
You love that game, and so you have special warm fuzzies for that game.
So let me break it down into a couple of categories. The game that I'll keep playing the most will end up being Forza Horizon 4. I'm going to play that game for years. And so I'm super excited about it. So that was probably the best game for best game for my buck in 2018. My game that I thought had the best story would go to God of War. Dude, the story about an old, kind of grumpy Kratos and his kid.
That hit you where it's supposed to hit you.
But I feel like the best convergence of story and fun would probably be Spider-Man.
Sure.
So like of those three,
because you played that through.
Yeah, I'm all the way through it, and I played most of the DLC for it too.
I feel like you don't always play all your games all the way through, but that's a sign of you liking it.
I played the heck out of Spider-Man.
I know you did. You might play it this Christmas.
Yeah, well, I have some DLC that I haven't played through yet.
That's right.
So I mean, if those are probably my top three. If I had to pick one, it's going to be Forza because I'd play it the most. But, man, those other two.
Well, that's been your 2018 recap of your favorite video games of 2018.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
But they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on Radio U.
We got a chance to talk to Jeremy from Tiger Drive.
Yeah, I thought it'd be good to make sure we include this because he talked a lot about what his Christmas plans, which are technically January, but his Christmas plans were going to be.
So this is Jeremy from Tiger Drive talking to us about Christmas.
Some people know from social media, but my wife and I went through a journey for cancer last year around this time. Yeah. So last year, this time, it was really crummy, just like a lot of stuff going on. So this year, I'm actually taking her to Paris.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That is so sweet.
So what do you want under the Eiffel Tower this year?
That's true, the Eiffel Tower tree. Actually, I think, Obi, that's the thing. That's all of it.
All right. Yeah. To be honest, we're just kind of trying to save all our money and spend it all when we get there. So.
Yeah. Oh, and that'll build new, good, nice Christmas memories. So, that's
Absolutely.
So sweet.
It's going to be fun.
So what are you...
How come we never go to Paris, Obi? Come on.
Because, Nikki, we spent all our money on these T-shirts.
That's true. Our outfits.
Yeah. It's all that fashion money that we spent.
Oh, that's exciting. That'll be so much fun.
So when you go to Paris, like what's on the books? Like, what do you want to see?
Well, we're going to do Paris, obviously. So my wife found out that during the month of January, apparently there's we're not 100% sure if it's for real yet. It's just kind of hearsay at this point. But apparently there's like a countrywide, 70% off sale during that particular month.
Okay, dude, that sounds way made up. I don't want.
That's what I was told. We've got some friends. They just so happen to be the travel agent that told us that.
Man,
I'm just kidding.
It is getting worse, dude. It's getting worse.
I think you should confirm. You're already going, but has anybody else been to Paris in January?
He's going to Paris, Indiana, and he doesn't know it. They're like, yeah, every year they have a huge
70% off sale. Maybe they do. Maybe it's like a tax thing. Or it's a tourism thing.
Yeah,
that's what we heard. Seriously, that there's some big influx of new stuff, and so they just kind of get rid of all of it. I guess it's like their Black Friday happens for for a few weeks.
Because Jeremy, one time I went to a different country and they're like, "Oh, everybody there speaks English. You'll be fine, totally fine." And then when I got there, and that was not true. So I just want you to be aware, so you don't have any problems, because they might be just trying to get you there.
Might be just something that they say.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is Jeremy with Tiger Drive. So we found he's going to Paris for Christmas.
Dude, congratulations. Well, he's going in January, but that is his Christmas present. Now, but here's the thing, though. Listen, I know how the system works, where you tell your wife's like, I don't want anything for Christmas. We're going to Paris. I don't want anything for Christmas.
Which means
I don't want you to put anything under that tree for me for Christmas. If I find something under that tree for me, you're in big trouble, but not as big a trouble as you'll be in if there's nothing there.
It's a trap. Do you feel like it's a trap?
I don't know. My wife actually is like the biggest budget person on earth.
Okay.
She's kind of like the budget monger. So I feel like if I bought something, she would be like, "Where's the receipt? This is $24.97, which we could have went through me buying 4 baguettes in the
Paris.
Louvre."
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, you can always do like luggage or something that you can use for the trip, so then it kind of still counts as Paris.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I might sneak a few things in there, but I can't say because she'll probably watch this later.
Okay. All right. Well, at 70% off, I would just wait till you get your luggage in Paris. I wouldn't take anything with me.
I feel like it's like the duty-free thing, like Paris is just duty-free in January.
Whole time. That was Jeremy from Tiger Drive.
Yay.
He's going to Paris next month for Christmas.
Much fun.
And so do the baguettes. Sounded good.
Turn it up loud enough and your neighbors will call the cops. Because it's obviously a cry for help. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I don't know if you guys are aware, Radio U is commercial-free, listener-supported. And we had a couple of opportunities this year to support Radio U. Some people did, not everybody did. And so if you found yourself wondering why we don't play commercials and how that's actually possible, well, guess what? It's possible because of people who give and support, which is why we're asking you to give and support right now.
Yeah, if not, there's no Radio U. There's no Radio U Christmas music. I mean, we desperately need people to make sure we can be around. And so for some, if you committed to give to Radio U during one of our fundraisers, but you haven't sent it in, it's also a good reminder because you have until the last day of the year to be counted for your taxes, since your gift is a tax-deductible thing.
Yeah.
So if you do that before then, you'll get in.
So why don't you just go ahead and before midnight on December 31st gift.
Just a reminder to don't forget about Radio U if you can.
RadioU.com/donate.
If you were offended or disgusted by anything Obadiah said this morning,
if you weren't so dumb, I might be offended.
You must be new. You'll get used to it. The Riot on Radio U.
It is the Riots on Radio U.
Oh, it's time again to take a look back at the year.
Take a look at all the movies.
And there were many movies.
There were, but man, how about this, Nikki? Hurricane Heist.
Was that this year?
That was this year.
Was it in the spring?
It was. Tomb Raider, Pacific Rim Uprising, Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah. Boy, some of these you feel like they've been out a lot longer.
Rampage. Yeah. Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Solo. And yes, if you're wondering, I stick to a certain category, but it's fine.
I'm sure there's more outside of this.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that was in the summer.
How about Skyscraper? The Equalizer 2. And so on and so forth. All movies that are eligible for the Riot's very esteemed Movie of the Year award.
There's no gift basket or actual reward that any of the people associated with this film will be receiving, but it is a high honor.
Yeah, I mean, and let's not forget Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Incredibles 2.
I did not like that movie.
Isle of Dogs.
I love dogs.
Did you like Isle of Dogs?
No, it's I Love Dogs. If you read it out.
Oh, yeah.
I Love Dogs. Yes, Isle of Dogs.
No, there's the Spider-Man movie, which there's that, and then Ralph Breaks the Internet. Those are animated, of course. Anything else you feel like you need me to go through
Sicario
in order?
2?
No, that's not on the list.
That was there. there.
I mean, it's there.
It's in the animated category. It was a mistake.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, that was there too.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
That was a big one. A Wrinkle in Time.
I scrubbed through that on Netflix. I thought I liked the book when I was younger.
Oh, I still like the book.
But I don't think it was. I didn't think it worked. But that's not what this is about. This is not about that.
It's not about that, Nikki. Oh, and let's not forget, even though we haven't seen it, Bumblebee in theaters now. So what do you think the Riot's pick is?
I'm going to give you guys a second to text it in.
All right, you ready?
So if you text 877 to Radio U and let us know, we'll give you a second. Maybe 5 more. 5 more.
5 more?
Oh, you got to grab your phone and then unlock it. You got to do all that. Give it a second.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You gotta get your music ready. 1.
I don't have the music.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
So that works.
I thought you were saying have the theme song ready, which I don't.
No.
We're talking Mission Impossible 6. That's
Fallout.
the one. That's the one. Mission Impossible Fallout. That was. I still don't like it as much as Rogue Nation.
Of course.
But I do think all around it was my favorite movie of the year.
And we also like the movie trailer the most, I think, than
best trailer
any
of
other
the year.
trailer.
I agree.
It also wins that second part of this award.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't deny that Avengers was great, and Ant-Man was great, and Black Panther was great, and on and on and on. Jurassic World is terrible, but I really think that Mission Impossible Fallout was the one.
I'm just impressed that it can get better as much as it has.
Did you watch it again? Or do you mean Mission Impossible in general?
Meaning just in general, how it can be, I mean, was it 6 or 8?
This was 6.
6. Like you're 6 in, and a couple were, but the rest have been amazing. So I stand impressed every time they come out.
4, 5, and 6, big wins. Of course,
I liked Henry Cavill
was good
in it.
Too.
That was good.
Yes.
And I like the story.
Yeah. Well, and I'll just say
I like the dunk. What's the...
When Henry Cavill punches and grows a beard?
No, he punches in the bathroom. He goes, dunk, dunk. Yeah, that thing.
No, didn't you see that whole thing about how, like, his beard grows in that shot in the trailer?
Oh, yes, because he was filming another movie at that time.
Right. So, yep, Mission Impossible Fallout. That's our pick for movie of the year.
I like
At least
this,
for us.
This is why the show stays together, because we have the same pick.
We picked the same movie last year, too, didn't we? What was it last year? Okay, good.
That's a good question.
I just remember you and I have... we picked Thor Ragnarok last year.
We did, yes.
We did.
That was from the previous year.
We loved Thor Ragnarok.
That was a great movie, too.
Yeah. It's nice. Movie of the year.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Our Christmas show is always about traditions.
It is about tradition.
Andrew has got to always be included from Project 86 because we love to check in with him at Christmas time.
And we love his Christmas music.
I know those are the favorites.
Oh, that gives me such warm feelings in my Christmas heart.
I know. Merry Christmas. How are you doing?
Merry Christmas, Nikki and Obadiah.
Yay.
Who have you guys had on? Who are all your special guests these days?
Well, we just checked in. We talked to Jeremy from Tiger Drive, and we're going to check in with Jen from Ledger in a bit, and then Mike Maines and Wolves at the Gate.
Last year for Christmas, if I'm remembering correctly, you wanted socks.
Was that it? You remember that?
Am I getting that wrong? That you said last year you wanted socks and like you wanted like goofy, like
decorative ones,
socks. What's on the list this year?
Well, I can do better this year. I don't know what I was thinking last year. You might have caught me during
an
awkward time.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually always need socks though. That's real. That is real. But
that's real for all of us.
This year is I'm building a vinyl collection. I want to collect the 100 albums that changed my life, but I want to get them all on special edition vinyl. So like colored vinyl, picture vinyl, box sets, things like that. So I'm in the process of just
collecting those.
To do that.
Wow,
that's kind of like a 2019 resolution almost, where I'm going to make progress on that one.
So how many years do you think it would take to try to collect all the special editions? Or do you think you can get it accomplished in a year? Or
I think probably if my goal is 100, I haven't decided whether I'm doing 50 or 100. I basically want to take all the records that I know I'll listen to for the rest of my life, and I want to look at them and I want them to be beautiful, like just awesome wax, awesome packaging, whatever. So whatever that coolest version, of that one is. Maybe I can, go through 10 in a year. Maybe if it's a really good year, maybe more, or maybe only 5. So I would say it's a good 5-year goal because I want to get them slowly and assimilate them into the collection, appreciate them,
and enjoy them,
keep it special.
Yeah, there's something to that because sometimes when you get too many things at once,
they get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. I totally get that. I do all of my movie buying for the year almost on Black Friday. And so at home right now, I've got a stack of 10 movies to go through, and I have only watched one of them. And it's
if you spaced them out,
you almost wish you could space them out, but I save so much money by buying them then that I don't do it. But so how many, I will say, Andrew from Project 86 on the phone here. How many have you collected so far, or have you?
Yeah, I have a few. I actually bought one record when I was in Columbus. This is the one that started it for me. I was in Columbus, Ohio, and there's a record store down by, what's the club down there that we play? Scully's.
Yeah.
There's a record store next to Scully's. It's a really cool record store. I don't even remember the name of it, but I walked in there before the show and was just flipping through the vinyl, and I found the very first Rage Against the Machine record on picture vinyl, and it was on sale for $20 or something, and I bought it. I also have Project 86, this band that I like. I have their new record on limited edition picture vinyl as well as the regular vinyl. Those are in my collection.
So are you still selling? Are you still selling yours on vinyl?
Yeah, we have them available on our web store, which is just project86.com/store. And there's a few left over from our most recent Pledge Music campaign. And ours is we don't have any more of the picture vinyl. Those were really limited edition, but the regular vinyl is a colored vinyl. It's a kind of a blue swirly wax, which matches the album layout. And I designed the album layout. This is the first album package that I actually have designed as a graphic designer. So that was new, and I think it came out pretty cool. We have that on our Project 86 web store if you guys are interested.
Because I could see this would be a goal that I might see other people pick up in 2019. So then that way, if you hear and the goal is coming from Andrew and you're inspired, it'd be very fitting to start off with a Project 86 vinyl to start off the collection. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not.
You're not telling. You're just saying.
Organic. That was an organic, really natural way to plug and market our vinyl.
That's a good way.
I didn't even mean to do it.
Well, Andrew, speaking of marketing things that you're doing, let's talk about your podcast.
Yeah,
how has that been going?
Oh, I love you guys for talking about that because you don't really want to talk about it.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for you. I mean, our stuff gets podcasted every day, but it's different for us because it's not like we're going out and doing a separate podcast. Our podcast is The Riot on RadioU. So it's fascinating to see you go and you're creating a
podcast from scratch.
Yeah, from scratch. So it's fascinating to us.
I'm poking fun at the post that you put on the website, or it might have been the social media, and you're like, "Are we intimidated by Andrew's new podcast?"
Gotcha.
Kind of.
Did I say that?
You must.
That sounds like something I would say. Oh yeah, I put it in the podcast description. He's right, man. Andrew, that's great. You remembered. I forgot.
You're paying attention.
Yeah.
I was paying attention. I was just going to check out and see if our last time we spoke made it live, but I saw that on there. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
My podcast is called Pioneers Podcast. It's available on Patreon.com right now. It's in the early stages. We have about 5 episodes posted. With this podcast, it's basically looking at the most prolific creators in the world, a lot of my peers. Eventually, I want to be talking to more than just music people, creative people, and talking about their motivation, their process, and really going deep. And so I want this podcast to be the place that everybody comes to get the most intimate, never before told secrets, behind the scenes stories of artistic creation and motivation, basically. So I've had on Toby from Emery and Bad Christian. I've had on Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter. I just posted an episode with Corey Brandon from Norma Jean, and I'm posting one just around probably the 26th or 27th while people are bored at home and have opened all their presents, about how I write lyrics and stories behind some of my songs. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm really having a great time with it. I haven't been this inspired since I started my band, so it's really, really great. I understand you guys' world a little bit better now.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it's a different world, podcasting and just radio in general. But it seems like it's a great creative outlet for you, and just like with band stuff, it's a way to still have an outlet in a different direction.
Definitely, nowadays, especially when guys in bands or frontmen are running podcasts. I know Mike Carrera has his podcast, and of course the Emery guys, and there's a bunch of others out there. It's definitely a great supplement to the musical output, and it allows you to see a different facet of that artist's personality. And I think for me, I have so many years of accumulated stories that I've never been able to tell. Mm-hmm. Really good stories, funny stories, awkward stories, stories of failure, stories of triumph, and everything in between. And I was thinking to myself, I'll never be able to tell these stories. I'm going to take them to my grave. I might as well do, since I'm the only one who hasn't been invited to the party, I might as well start a podcast.
And there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, I love it. Well, if you want more details on that, I know we posted it last time we had Andrew on, but check out RadioU.com to get involved in his podcast. And, of course, the vinyl and all the project albums and, of course, the Christmas songs, too, because we can't forget those.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure. I always think of RadioU when I think of good shows, when I think of my favorite times, especially in Columbus, and when I think of doing this podcast. Every time I'm recording, for some reason, you guys pop in my head. Aww. Because I'm thinking about you recording episodes and getting up at the crack of dawn and having to edit and doing all that behind the scenes. For whatever reason, Nikki
come to mind?
Both of you guys. You guys always pop in my head for some reason.
Well, you know what? I hope that it inspires you, because if you set the bar low enough, you can only feel good enough about your product.
Well, that's where I was going. It's like I was more thinking about it as, what would be the acronym? WWN and OD.
What would we think?
What would Nikki and Obadiah do in this situation? Because I noticed that I say the word like and the word all the time. And
it's tough,
I'm
dude.
catching myself. And so you guys are so professional and well-spoken and experienced, and I'm like, how would they speak?
What would we do? Aww.
What would they do?
I appreciate that, Andrew. I have my own crutch phrases that I'm not at liberty to share now because I already feel bad.
The more you think about it, the more they pop up.
It's real.
You have to watch it.
Well, Andrew,
I find myself speaking slowly.
Well, dude, it has been great catching up with you. Merry Christmas.
Have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow.
Guys. The Riot. Turn it down.
And rip the knob off.
RadioU.
It is the Riot on RadioU.
Merry Christmas, and hopefully you're enjoying our Riot Christmas show.
Merry Christmas to you, Nikki.
Yay, to you as well.
And Merry Christmas to one Jen Ledger on the phone right now.
How are you doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
We're doing very good.
Hey, Jen, listen, I know you don't really remember us, and that's fine. But I have to ask you.
She'll tell you that she does.
I know she will, because that's what her media training tells her to do.
She's a professional.
Now, Jen, I have a really
I'm nervous, guys.
I have a really important question for you. I need to know if you have gone and watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail yet to see the Not Dead Yet scene.
The Not Dead Yet thing. I did go and see it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel really silly about my song now.
We had assumed you had seen, back when that song came out, that you had seen it, but when we talked last, you had not. So way to go for actually going and watching it.
I know, but the thing is, it's tainted it for me now. I'm like, yeah, I can see why I remembered this scene of this movie. There's no way I would have written that song. So maybe it's the Lord and he completely erased it from my memory. so that I could write a song like that with just total freedom. But you guys have just chained me back up again.
Well, I'm glad, because that's what we're here for.
That's what we're really here for. That's our Christmas gift to you, and it keeps giving.
So,
Merry Christmas, Jen. Now you're stressed out about your silly lyrics in your song.
So did you actually go watch the whole movie?
No. I just
the
looked up that one scene, and I was like, oh, man,
Well.
shame. The shame.
So talk to us about Christmas, Jen. What are your Christmas plans this year?
Oh, man, Christmas. This is the first year in about 10 years that I haven't been able to make it home. I'm from England, if you can't tell. I know my accent's very weird now. I've lived in America for a while, so I sound shady. But basically, I normally travel home. I've got an incredible family in England, so I usually take a 10-day trip. But right now, as you know, I'm right in between a bunch of Ledger shows and a bunch of Skillet shows, and it's an incredibly exciting new season where this is the first year I just can't make it back this year. So the Coopers are being so lovely as to open up their home to me, and I'm going to be spending the night with them and waking up for Christmas and having an American Christmas, only to leave at like 2:30 a.m. on the 26th to go on tour.
Aw, well, at least you get tonight and tomorrow. Like, you get something.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, you just got to enjoy the moment. Otherwise, if you keep thinking about the fact you're leaving in just a few hours, you know, that can be kind of like okay, just don't think about it. It's going to be an early morning. You'll have some coffee. You'll be fine.
You'll be good.
Jen, you realize that you are right on the verge of starting, like, the biggest romantic relationship of your life, because you're going to spend the night with the Coopers. Like, you're a girl whose trip home has been canceled.
It's a Hallmark movie.
So she stays at home with some friends and family. But little does she know, she's about to go on tour, but a huge snowstorm cancels her tour. It's an American Christmas on Hallmark.
Yes, that sounds perfect.
You know what? That sounded more beautiful than I knew. I was like, we should make a movie, guys. I'm cashing in on those royalties for sure.
You can have it all. We have so many ideas with movies. You can have that one.
It's perfect.
Okay.
It's
I'm happy to split percentages. If it's a hit, I'm fine with it.
Okay, good. If not, we never talked if it doesn't take off.
Yeah, let's erase it from this radio interview.
That's right. Well,
Script writes itself.
This is Jen
easy.
Ledger, and then with you have Ledger stuff, you've got Skillet stuff, but then of course Winter Jam is coming up. So if you're a part of Radio U's Ohio audience, that'll be coming up January 19th. So in just a few weeks, that'll be here.
So Jen, are you ready for Winter Jam?
Oh my gosh, I'm ready, but I've got so many mixed emotions here. I am completely pumped on the one hand, and then on the other hand, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. We're playing an arena tour without Skillet, just on my own. What the heck is happening?
It'll be different.
It's going to be different. We've been rehearsing really hard. We spent a ton of time getting this show ready. We've got a few surprises in store. I'm following in the Skillet footsteps. John and Corey have trained me well, and I'm hoping to bring a really cool show with a few surprises that will leave the audience a little bit like, oh, I didn't expect that. That's what Skillet does, and I'm hoping to follow in their footsteps too. And actually, we might be launching a brand new song also, but I'm not allowed to tell you any more about that just yet.
That's a secret, just a little teaser.
Just a teaser secret, because we're buddies now,
Well, we're writing movies together, so of course.
We're collabing for sure.
What's good is Winter Jam audience is super nice, and I mean, everybody's been the most excited about Ledger performing on it, so you're going to have a really good crowd the entire time.
Honestly, I'm so excited. Winter Jam is just like it's got like such a soft spot in my heart, because when I moved to America at 16 years old, kind of became a Christian at 16, and then within a year, I had gotten into Skillet. And so my first tour ever, I just turned 18. My birthday had happened a couple of weeks before, and my first tour was 2008 with Winter Jam. And as you can imagine, playing for 200 people at church on a Sunday and being terrified about that, and then going into 16,000 people in an arena was an incredibly stretching season for me. And it was one of those seasons where I just saw, like, God can do the impossible if you're just obedient and if you trust him, because I was like scared to death. I hated performing. I had said no to actually auditioning for Skillet because it scared me too bad. And now it's so cool. Like, 10, 11 years later, I've toured Winter Jam many times, and to see the growth even in like my walk with the relationship with the Lord and how just trusting him and stepping out in things, I'm like, I never in a million years thought I could be doing something like this with my life. I wanted to be a hairdresser. That was my whole goal. And so now I'm on the freaking radio talking to you guys at Christmas, ready for a tour that's in an arena. I just honestly, my mind is blown.
Aww.
And so Winter Jam is just special, and I am so overwhelmed with the grace of God on my life for it. It's just so cool, and I cannot wait to see you guys out there.
Well, that is exciting, Jen. Thank you so much for taking time on Christmas Eve to spend a little bit of your time with us. And
say hello to the Coopers.
Yeah, tell me hi.
Tell
everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. They say it back to you guys. And thank you so much for chatting to me. I super appreciate it.
All right. Well, hey, good luck on Winter Jam. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Awesome. Thank you. See you guys.
You're welcome.
Jen from Ledger
on Winter Jam, like I mentioned, for RadioU Ohio. That's coming January 19th to Columbus. But then it's traveling, of course, in different cities. So if you want more details, RadioU.com.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.